Can't believe you would hit me with that. How impolite. Okay. Okay, so tonight we go back into the past. 7 years into the past. Very excited. That sounded really interesting last week when we left it off. This one? I think so. So, let's see. The incident. Showdown time. I lost. It's only a game of poker. A game I've played for a long time. And only lost twice. Wait, is this the right? Who was the first? The man I killed, of course. Well, it seems I found the partner I've been looking for all along. Over a game of cards? Why, yes, over a game of cards. Okay. That was how we first met. 7 years ago. Interesting. 7 years earlier, Phoenix Wright's final trial. Okay, I'm into it. I'm very much into it. April 19, 9:27 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Phew, okay. It's been a long time since I felt like such a rookie. Got to try and relax. Ah, good morning, Mr. Enigmar. That's gotta be, Trucy's father, right? I feel like it has to be. Interesting. So, So did we lose this trial? He went to prison, and that's why he disappeared? And then we took Trucy under our wing for him or something? I wonder. Hey Ralph, hello. Let's do the VIP wheel before we get too far into this. What do we get? Come on, good omen, good omen. Could have been better. I'm not sure what this says about the stream. About this trial, how it will go. We'll see. 400, don't forget. There we go. So 123, 200 then. Alright. Well, shit. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's good here for this trial. Ah, good morning, Mr. Enigmar. I'm sorry to have sprung this on you so suddenly. I received the files from your previous attorney only yesterday. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure I'm prepared. I understand I am asking the impossible of you. Yes, well, you haven't really told me what happened yet. All we did was play cards. And that was enough. Actually, it wasn't. Trust me. Hey, there's baby Trucy. Oh, morning, Daddy. Ah, I'm so glad you came. You okay, Daddy? They picking on you? I am fine, as always. This old boy is here to help me after all. That's young man to you. Good morning. That's a cute outfit you have on. Thanks. My first show's today after all. Oh, I'm sure it is. What the heck is she talking about? Oh, old boy. Huh? Me? Look what he started. Here. What is this? It seems fate's clock will make me wait a little longer. At least only less than 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who have supported me in my life's work, I give thanks. Farewell. Magnify Grammary. So, Shadi Enigmar. The client in this case usually goes by a stage name Zai Grammary. Okay. And this is the mentor. Magnify Grammary, the victim in this case, died after being shot in the head while in the hospital. Oh. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, wait. That puts this in new context. Seems Fate's clock will make me wait a little longer, at least only less than 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who have supported me in my life's work, I give thanks. Okay. So did he write this after being shot? I'm confused. What's this? I don't know. I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair. They said it was really important. What's this? A memo for you or some such? Not from the looks of it. What is this? Looks like a page from someone's diary. I'll give it a read later. Notebook page. Mysterious paper received just before the trial. Well, how do you feel about the trial today? We'll get through it. Somehow. Incidentally, the prosecutor today is a new guy, I hear. An easy win then, yes? They're calling him a true thoroughbred in the history of the prosecutor's office. Of course, there's one of those every year. Switching of attorneys just before the trial. I know it is a difficult situation I put you in. But allow me to say one thing, Mr. Wright. Yes? They will not be able to pronounce me guilty today. So, do your best, but do not worry. First time a defendant's ever given me a pep speech. I'll do what I can. I see you do not understand. You see, it will be impossible for them to declare a verdict. Impossible? Yes. Isn't that right, Trucy? Yep, you bet, Daddy. My first look at the case was only yesterday, and the information I was given was a tad bit lacking, to be honest. Still, I'll do what I can, for their sake. Okay, let me check the... Wait, that's the body found in the hospital room, shot in the head. Okay. And the gun was left at the scene of the crime? And that's gotta be the page of the diary, I guess. Wait, the clown also has been shot in the head. For some reason. That's interesting. Okay. And there's like an IV fluid thing that is not plugged in him. That is just taped to the mattress. Okay. Interesting. Magnifies autopsy report. Cause of death, single gunshot to the head. Estimated time of death, 11 to 11:30 p.m. Victim's name, Magnify Grammary, age 67, male. Estimated time of death, blah blah blah. Cause of death, loss of blood from bullet wound. Note, malignant tumor found in victim's liver. Interesting. I believe the curtains will be lifting in time now. I am in your capable hands, Mr. Wright. My client is Shady Enigmar. Shady? Let's go with Shady. Known to the world as Zach Grammary, a widely popular magician, star of True Grammary. His mentor, Magnify Grammary, was a rare breed of magician. He single-handedly ushered in a golden age of stage magic, until he was shot dead. And Zach Grammary is the suspect. April 19, 10 AM, District Court, courtroom number 7. Oh my god. Court is now in session for the trial of Shady Enigmar. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Oh, fuck, he's so fucking young. Oh, he's gonna be even more obnoxious, isn't he? Is the prosecution ready? I was just thinking, is this what all the fuss is about? Bit of a buzzkill, really. Buzzkill? Is this some new kind of crime? One of the worst. This is a trial, yeah? Where are the sweaty palms, the pounding hearts? A Gaviner's concert's got 10 times the thrill this gig's got. Who? Where are you again? Clavier. Clavier Gavin. I came to get the party started. Legally, yeah. Gavin, defense attorney Chris of Gavin's. Ah, figures my bro's more famous in this part of town. Clavier Gavin, lead singer for the mega hit band The Gaviners. You're out of your league, rug boy. I know what you're thinking. You're out of your league, rug boy. Okay. True, my debut single, 13 Years Hard Time for Love, with platinum overnight. But that's just a hobby to me compared to this, yeah? Talkative, aren't you? I like your affected Euro rock accent, by the way. I'm just getting warmed up. Her attorney right. Perhaps you will be so kind as to fill us in on the case? Time to call on the opening act. What was his name again? Ah yes, Detective Gumshoe. Gumshoe! Gumshoe, finally! Oh. And you are? Hey, you were the only one. You were the one who called me up here, sir. Name's Dick Gumshoe. I'm a homicide detective down at the precinct. Detective Gumshoe, long time no see. Hey, you! Uh-huh, me? Today's a day, pal. Today I win and you lose. I got confidence in my testimony today, see? What? You normally lack confidence in your testimony? Her detective, this is my stage. Can't the antics. Huh? All this hey you-ing and such. And I could care less about your history together. Oh. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, if you would. Please tell us about the case at hand. It happened 6 days back in a room at the General Hospital. The facts are as simple as they come. Here's a crime scene. The victim was a patient asleep in a hospital bed. The killer comes in, puts a pistol to his forehead, and bam! Lights out. Then, them's the facts. Not so long ago, the victim, Magnify Grammary, was a famous man. He had the entire country under his magical spell, as it were. Okay. Ah yes, the great magician. He retired years ago, though. Say the name Magnify to one of my generation, and you'd be lucky to get a blank stare. Yes, though I'm sure the youngsters today knows his disciples even better. I dare say Troop Grammary has made quite a name for themselves. Anyhow, the retired Magnify's been in the hospital for the last year. What was it? A malignant tuner or something? Doing something to his liver, I think? Yeah. A malignant tumor, perhaps? In other words, he had liver cancer. He had only 3 months left to live, in fact. Diagnosed with a malignant tumor, given 3 months. Can I read more of it? Patient's name, blah blah blah, notes. Malignant tumor in liver has progressed to final stage with no hope of recovery. Patient has 3 months to live. Patient has chronic diabetes, requires irregular insulin. Okay. Will the syringe be the insulin then? The whole like first bucket thing? Like an insulin kit? That could make sense. The facts do seem simple enough, but something's not right. The victim was already climbing a 3 month stairway to heaven. Why not wait for him to knock on heaven's door? Why shoot him? God damn it, Gavin. I wouldn't have put it quite so lyrically, but it's true. Why make the effort to commit murder when the victim was about to die? Incidentally, the victim had a serious case of diabetes. Diabetes? In fact, He was about to shoot up with insulin. Yeah, okay. When he was shot with a pistol, the syringe was found at the scene of the crime. Chronic diabetes and cancer. As much as it pains me to say it, the victim was clearly at the end of his life. Small syringe used for administering insulin shots has been washed and shows no signs of use. I believe the question before us is clear then. What can I... Is there anything to inspect on this? No, nothing at all. Oh, wait, I saw something. Where? I know I saw something. Yeah. Damn it. There we go. Always hated getting shots. I guess Magnify was giving himself the insulin shots. There's no way I could do that. Same. Absolute same, Phoenix. Wait. If Magnify used this to inject his insulin, why are there no traces of it having been used? Something to keep in mind. Alright then. I believe the question before us is clear then. Why did the killer have to shoot this dying man? What reason could he have had? Hey Spawn, hello, how is it going? Very well, detective. Perhaps you can enlighten us as to the circumstances of the shooting? Yes, sir. Okay, first testimony. The circumstances. Doing good and you? I'm doing good. I'm doing amazing. I'm starting to get my sleep schedule under control again. Hopefully that lasts this time. Actually, the victim kind of ordered the defendant to do him in. A few days before it happened, the victim sent a letter ordering his own murder. The defendant did what was asked of him and shot the old man in the forehead. The bullet was fired from the pistol found at the scene, no doubt about it. And the pistol definitely belonged to the old man, sir. Okay. What? Saying the victim ordered his own shooting? And this is why medically assisted suicide is a good thing. This is why. Mine always end up being bad. Yeah, I've had trouble in the recent months. I'm trying to get on top of it. Those are the facts. I have here the letter in question. To my beloved student Zach, to you I entrust the task of lowering my life's curtain. Damn it, let me read it. Yeah, let me read it. To you I entrust the task of lowering my life's curtain. Come on the 13th, 11:05 p.m. I will ready your gun with which you will shoot one shot square in the forehead. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Interesting. But we do know because of the last trial, I mean technically in this case, but like the trial we had last week, that there was a diary page that was forged. So I wonder if it could be that one. I don't know yet. We'll have to keep an eye out for that because that is a very important detail. Very unusual indeed. Also, could such a thing as a letter really cause one to pull a trigger, I wonder? I believe the answer to that question can be found at the end of the letter. Ah, you cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Detective Gumshoe, can you explain this to the court? Unfortunately, even the defendant won't say a peep about that bit, sir. One thing bothers me about this. Why didn't he just say 11? Why have him come at 11:05 without some specific reason? The devil is in the details, her attorney. Well, was there some reason? As it turns out, there was. Every night for a half hour starting at 11. The victim, Magnified Grammary, was given an IV. An IV? Yeah. There it is in the picture, off to the side of the bed. At 11, a doctor would come to set up the IV. 30 minutes later, he would come back for the empty bag. This happened every night without fail. So that was the only time they could meet without the chance of an untimely interruption. Yeah. Okay. During his IV.
Very well. Shall we begin? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you would.
What's this reason he couldn't refuse, I wonder? He could have at least mentioned it to me. Okay, Phoenix. Like the good old times. The circumstances.
Actually, the victim kind of ordered the defendant to do him in.
Just because he got a letter doesn't mean he went through with it. Oh, I disagree. The victim was indeed shot in the forehead after all, just as he had commanded. It could be a setup, but let's not be in such a hurry. Maybe we should let the witness talk for a change.
Thanks, pal.
Fine, I can play it slow as well as I can play it fast. On with the testimony, Detective Gumshoe.
A few days before it happened, the victim sent a letter ordering his own murder.
And this letter was sent by the victim?
There it is. Gotcha. You're all mine this time, pal.
Huh?
I had the handwriting checked out, of course. It's a victim's, no mistake.
Ah, I see.
Ha ha ha. Or one for the boys.
I didn't lose, I was just ascertaining the facts. So why am I so annoyed?
But a letter ordering your own death? Things aren't what they used to be, I guess.
I'm not sure this is exactly commonplace even now, Your Honor.
Oh, anyway, guess I'll keep going while I'm ahead. The defendant did what was asked of him and shot the woman in the forehead.
How can you be so sure?
Hey, you gotta learn to stop relying on people to do your thinking for you, pal. Learn to think for yourself. Get done noggin cranking.
You fail to grasp the concept of questioning, Detective.
First, we got this letter. It says shoot in the forehead, loud and clear.
I can see that, but I still wouldn't do it.
Well, maybe you need to grow yourself a backbone, pal.
Yeah. You fail to grasp the concept of shooting people is bad, Detective.
We also found the defendant's pistol at the scene.
Traces of gunpowder residues shows that it had been fired recently.
Well, Mr. Wright. As far as I can tell from looking at this photo, there seems to be no issue with the prosecution's claim.
The photo, maybe there's something in there I can use. So they're saying the defendant shot the victim in the forehead. I think there's a hole in the prosecution's argument. Clearly Mr. Enigmar shot something else. Didn't pull the trigger. I mean, shot something else like the clown. Looking at this photo, another possibility occurs to me.
Yes?
What does the letter tell us? That the defendant had a reason he couldn't refuse his teacher's wishes.
Bingo, pal. That's why the defendant popped him one in the forehead.
Oh, the defense disagrees. You see, the defendant had another choice he could make.
Objection!
What? And you can prove that with this photo? I can prove he had a choice, yes.
The defendant might have fired like he was ordered, but he didn't shoot the victim's forehead. Well, let's hear what you're thinking, Mr. Wright. If he didn't shoot the victim's forehead, what did he shoot?
Take that!
The clown doll?
Let me just check quickly. Okay, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the graphics are not fully perfect. I don't know. It just seems a bit fuzzy sometimes for some reason. But I guess not. There's no... Yeah, there's no... Okay, whatever.
The clown doll?
Take a closer look. See? It's been shot in the forehead too.
Ah, there's a hole in its forehead.
Yes, and a hole in the prosecution's claim.
Objection!
And I suppose you have a reason as to why he'd shoot the clown doll? He didn't just shoot the doll, he shot the doll's forehead. His forehead? Let's read the orders once more, shall we? You will shoot one shot, square and forehead. Which is exactly what he did. He shot the clown doll square in the forehead.
The defense has raised an intriguing possibility. That hole in the clown's forehead. It definitely looks like it was shot. Bailiff, send someone to investigate this matter.
Objection!
I admit, I'm impressed, but I expected nothing less. Still, this doesn't mean he didn't shoot the victim.
Objection!
Perhaps he did have to shoot the forehead as ordered, but the letter says nothing about whose forehead. This was the only way he had to follow his orders without taking a life.
The bullet hole in the clown's doll forehead does demand an explanation. It might very well be a clue, yet Prosecutor Gavin is right. It alone does not prove the defendant's innocence.
You cannot say for sure the defendant didn't shoot the victim. So sorry, Mr. Wright. How sad it is to see the mighty fall. How sad it is to see the novice's overconfidence. He doesn't realize just how big this little hole is going to get.
Detective Gumshoe, please take this newfound fact into account as you continue your testimony. So what if you shot the clown? He still shot the victim, pal.
Wait, did I? Yeah, okay. Yeah, this one is the last I pressed, right? But it might have been the clown's for sure, yeah.
Okay, so he practiced first on the doll, then shot him.
He practiced in the middle of the hospital. Anyone could have come in at any moment.
Yeah, but no one did come, did they, pal? Besides, it's what I would have done. Always look before you shoot, I say.
Might I suggest we move on? This is getting us nowhere. Patience, we'll get there sooner than you think.
Very well, please continue with your testimony, detective. The bullet was fired from the pistol found at the scene, no doubt about it.
Hold it!
You mean this pistol, the one in the crime scene photo?
That's the one. It's a funny looking gun, so there's no mistaking it.
We compared the bullet taken from the victim's skull with the bullet fired from its gun. The rifling marks on the bullets were a perfect match. So you verified the murder weapon, in other words.
You bet we did. And the pistol definitely belonged to the old man, sir.
Hold it!
Why are you so certain?
What part of sand has your head been stuck in all this time, pal? You never heard of Zack and Valent's quick rush shoot 'em?
What? Huh? What's that?
One of the defendant's specialties. Zack and Valent stand on either side of the girl. Then they shoot. But the bullets don't hit her. Instead they hit everything else on stage. This was one of the pistols they used in their show. Got a great design, huh? The kids love it.
Many boys and girls would join the police because of that pistol, I hear. You know, that will explain a lot about the police force.
True Grammar stopped doing that act a while ago. The old man held on to that pistol ever since. The court will like to see the pistol in question. You got it, sir. There she is.
You just had a piece of evidence in your coat. God damn it, Gumshoe.
Well, this truly is a blast from the past. It's a stage pistol for magic shows, see? But it can fire real bullets. It looks so much bigger in real life than on TV. Yeah, but it can only hold one round. By the way, the pistol's firing chamber is empty. And it shows traces of having been fired recently.
So, were any fingerprints found on the gun? Unfortunately, no. Of course, the defendant is known for wearing gloves. We might say that a lack of fingerprint is, in fact, a fingerprint of its own. No, we can't say that. No, we can't say that. What the fuck do you mean? Anybody can wear gloves, what? Especially if they know they're going to do a killing.
Aha! Intriguing point, well made.
Whoa, 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 not well made, not intriguing.
In any case, the court accepts this evidence.
Fires one real bullet. Barrel marks match bullet found in victim. No fingerprints found.
My grandchild will get a kick out of seeing this. But now it's time to return to our testimony.
Let's just examine this quickly. If you look closely, you can see how the pistol's been made to bend here. It's a one-shot only model, and I guess this bend is where you load it. So this is the famous Grammary Golden Gun. They say kids used to love pretending they had one of these. I wonder if they pretended to miss the targets too. Okay. Oops. Wait.
Okay. So what if you shot the clown? You still shot the victim, pal.
Hold it!
So let me get this straight. You're saying my client first shot the clown, then shot the victim?
Hey, not a bad summary, pal.
More of a confirmation than a summary, but whatever. That was really more of a confirmation than a summary. But our defense attorney seems pleased enough with himself. Do these people ever miss a chance to mock me? Well, now that Mr. Rice gotten that out of his system, shall we continue with the testimony? I didn't have enough time to gather all the details before coming in here. This testimony might be my only source of information. Better pay attention and read this letter carefully. Okay. Okay, so I think he wrote that before he was shot. Like 10 minutes before the agreed upon time. Hello, Tsushinoko, welcome in. How is it going? Wait, what's the last statement again? But if you shot the clown, he still shot the victim. But this is a one bullet gun. This is definitely gonna come into play at some point. I don't know if this is the one, so... Hi. Is this the one? Yes, it is. Okay. I wasn't sure if we were gonna wait for later for that or not. The trickiest cases often seem the simplest. Prosecutor Gavin, you missed a bullet hole in the clown's forehead. If you hadn't missed that, you might have to come to a very different conclusion. Understand?
Yeah, but like I just said, pal. After he shot the clown in the forehead, he went and...
Objection!
Nah. Did nothing of the sort to the victim. The pistol proves he could not.
The murder weapon? How?
It's quite simple, Your Honor. This pistol only holds one bullet at a time.
Ah.
If he had shot the clown in the forehead, he couldn't have shot the victim too.
Objection!
Fucking soundtrack. Oh, I miss this one so much. What a contradiction. Not even close. All he had to do was reload the pistol after the first shot.
Objection!
Oh, where did he get the extra bullet? They're not so easy to come by, you know. If he claimed the defendant had one ready, then prove to us how he got it. Also, wouldn't the room be fucking filled with people after the first shot? Like, this is a hospital, there's people everywhere. One single shot and you don't have time to reload before at least one person comes in the room. Feeling this wasn't over yet. No, this party's just getting started. And I haven't proven anything yet beyond my good looks and startling record sale. And utter lack of humility.
Ah, what's this? It seems that the prosecution has another witness prepared.
Like I said, her detective was just a warm-up act. Now that the audience has gotten a taste of what's to come, they're ready. Ready for what? For my decisive witness, of course. A witness who, you will find, can prove one thing for us. That it was Zach Gramary who shot the victim in the forehead.
Very well. We will pause for a 15-minute recess.
This might be my lucky break. I'll need that 15 minutes to talk to my client, Zach.
Court is adjourned.
No, Gumshoe, don't leave. I missed you so much. No, Gumshoe. Damn, that was a quick first half. Okay. Like about a half hour only. Damn. Wonder the second half will be as quick. April 19, 11:21 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. Very impressive, Mr. Wright, I have to say. I expected nothing less. We've only just begun. I was hoping you could tell me a bit more about what happened, actually. I did not think you would believe me if I told you. Better that you discovered the truth for yourself. I was thinking of you, you know. I think we need less thinking and more talking. That night in the hospital, what really happened? Ah, the way your eyes gleam, Mr. Wright. You'd scare Trucy. Speaking of which, where is she? Don't tell me she's the witness, please. That would be so messy. You have seen the problem yourself, the letter. The one shot in the forehead one, right? Yes, and the reason he speaks of. I could not deny my mentor's wishes, even if it meant my own death. Why not? This is something I will not say. For now, at least. I'm your fucking defense attorney. You have to tell me everything. God, these people, man. What's this for now business? I have done many things in my life. Some well, some poorly. But this is a cross we must bear alone to our graves. We? You wanted to know about the night of the incident? Finally, this guy sure likes to take his time getting to the important stuff. Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. And found there upon his bedside table 2 pistols. Okay, 2. Yes, the one I had used on stage. And the one that had been used by my partner, Valent. Did he send a similar letter to Valent? Like the same letter to Valent and Valent actually killed him? Is that what happened? Oh, for the Zack and Valent's quick draw thing. My mentor had the look of one sleeping. I stood by his bedside, hearing only the light sound of his breathing. Then I took the pistol into my hand. I cannot deny that my resolve faltered then, for a moment. You faltered. You mean you thought about shooting him? Recall there was a reason I could not refuse his request. His last such request, though not his first. Though there were other requests you couldn't refuse before. To be honest, I've not always been steadfast, and I fear I've brought pain upon Trucy. Was Magpie coercing his disciple somehow? Just what was going on in True Grammary? Yet, in the end, I did not shoot him. Instead, I turned and shot the clown. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket. In your pocket? I believe if you examine the bullet in the clown's head, you will find it to be different than the one in my mentor. What were those called? Rifling marks? Yes. Well, that is all I have to tell you concerning the case. Concerning the case? You mean there's something else you can tell me? You are a fascinating man, Mr. Wright. Thanks. Yes, there is something. My mentor, his eyes opened. What? Magnify grammary? The old devil. He was not asleep, you see. Of course, the gunshot will have woken him anyway. And there we had our last discussion as mentor and pupil. It was not a long discussion, maybe 5-10 minutes or so. Damn, he looks pissed. What did you talk about? Mr. Wright, did I not just tell you? It does not concern this case. Grammary, he seems pretty steadfast to me, or maybe just stubborn?
Mr. Wright, your presence is requested in the courtroom.
Once again, I am in your hands. Right, let's get back in there. Where is this going? I mean, I have an idea, but... Huh. April 19, 11:37 AM, District Court, courtroom number 7. I actually have a good idea of what happened there. I just don't know how we're gonna end up losing the case, because I feel like that's what's gonna happen. Unless we win because of a forged evidence piece, maybe. And that's why we lost our license or whatever. We were disbarred. I don't know. I'm curious where exactly this is going.
Court is now back in session.
During a recess, a bullet was found and dug out from the clown's head.
Well, this is news. And the rifling marks?
There wasn't time to do a detailed analysis. Though they did find a weapon type matches the murder weapon.
Well, that's not very conclusive, is it?
Which is why I'm about to call my very decisive witness. Your decisive witness? How many times have I heard those words? Though they often turn out to be far less decisive than you think. Oh, don't worry on my account. I'm quite confident this witness will do the job. After all, he is intimately acquainted with the players in our little production. Being the other half of True Grammary's famous duo. Like in Valiant. Valiant Grammary. So we get to meet the great Magnify's other disciple. Oh shit. He is a young man. Perhaps we'll start by asking your name and occupation.
Valiant Grammary, magician. And you're this decisive witness, are you? You can prove your fellow student, your partner's guilt.
Wait, the grand illusion, filled with traps and tricks.
Wait, the shooting took place in that hospital after 11 o'clock at night. If you're a witness, does that mean you were there that late?
If one were to deduce this logically, the conclusion is yes. Okay, I always get the characters, don't I? I have an interesting fact for you. You see, several days before the crime, my witness received this.
That looks very familiar.
Wait. That's the same letter Zygramary received. Yeah. Yes, or perhaps I should say ta-da. God, I love his hair from behind. It's amazing.
Order, order, order! And what does it say? Surely not the same thing.
Perhaps you should see for yourself. Blah blah. 11:20 p.m. this one. Okay. That seems to be the only thing different, except for the name, obviously.
Why, it's practically the same. Accept this intuitive evidence.
Edward telling Valen to come at 11:20.
This is most unusual. Exactly what was going on with you folks. What exactly was your true Grammary up to?
By which you mean?
I'm just having trouble envisioning a man who would ask his students to kill him. Both of them, no less.
It's just my opinion, Her Judge. But from these letters, I'd say he was coercing them, not asking them. We walked the magician's path together, and in so doing shared much of our lives. When people are so close, there is strain, a warping of relations, you might say. Yet this has nothing to do with the case at hand. By which you mean you're not going to tell us? Which makes me wonder even more about this reason what they couldn't refuse.
Well, let's get on with the testimony for starters. The defendants like Grammary stand accused. Tell us why.
Oh, I'll do more than that. For where he walks the red roses rise singing hymns to the miracle that is magic. Fascinating, so I hardly need to remind you that the evidence could just as clearly point you as a suspect. The letter, the murder weapon, and now the two bullets found at the scene.
In fact, the only difference seems to be the designated time.
As every magician knows, timing is everything. Yes, and now it's time to get this party fired up. Okay. The night of the crime. That night, I visited the hospital room at the time Magnifier requested. The smell of gunpowder hung in the room, and my mentor had taken his final bow. I did not imagine my fellow student might have received the same instructions. Yet the deal with the dead is still a deal. Death's sweet kiss I gave to the clown. Then I informed the doctor and the police. Okay. That sounds fishy.
So you were the one who reported the crime.
Indeed, I would think. This fact alone will clear my name of suspicion. Let's not jump to any conclusions.
Yes, the cross-examination generally comes before the conclusions in this court. But if your testimony proves to be true, then the defendant, Zygramary, is guilty.
And if it wasn't Zygramary, then the killer was you, Valent. And no disappearing act will get you out of that. Alright, the night of the crime. That night, I visited the hospital room at the time Magnifier requested. Which, according to the letter, was 11:20 p.m. Indeed. In magic, timing is everything. Right. Consider the illusion of teleportation. If I were to appear on stage before my Stundable has left, how would that look? Why, it would reveal the secrets of my magic. Of my magic? Now that you've revealed the very secrets of your magic for all of us, let's move on. You went at the designated time, and what did you see? The smell of gunpowder hung in the room, and my mentor had taken his final bow. So, you weren't worried for your own safety at all. I mean, you smelled gunpowder, yes? What if the shooter was still nearby? Okay. I did not consider this, to be honest. It is forbidden for a magician to have a good imagination. I'm not sure about that. That doesn't compute. Really? Isn't magic all about illusions and imagination? Thank you, Phoenix. How about this? You were the shooter, which is why you weren't afraid. But now you are the one imagining. It is forbidden for a lawyer to have a good imagination.
The witness will refrain from pausing so suspiciously before responding. My forbidden imagination is starting to imagine things.
I did not imagine my fellow student might have received the same instructions. Which brings us back to this reason neither of you could refuse. So it does, and my partner, he did not refuse. But mind if I wrote the same thing to you? Why could you refuse it if Zack couldn't? Because I have a will of steel, of course. I also do this trick where I bend steel bars, so perhaps steel isn't all so strong. Okay. So, which is it? Mind if I continue? Yet a deal with the dead is still a deal. That sweet kiss I give to the clown. There were 2 bullet holes at the scene, one in the victim and one in the clown. You're saying the one who shot the clown was you? No doubt my partner Zack has said much of the same thing. Yeah, because whoever didn't shoot the clown committed murder. I'd better dig around here a bit more, see what I turn up. Mr. Valent, let me ask about something else concerning the crime scene, namely. The bullet in the pistol, the location of the pistol, or the number of pistols? I feel like the number of pistols is the important thing here, but I just want to see the other two. In order to shoot a pistol you need a bullet. Where was the bullet? I entered the room and took the pistol in my hand. The bullet was already loaded, ready to fire at any time. A magician is always prepared, you see. Drawing in this background music is catchy. Yeah, Ace Attorney always has great music. Always. I still prefer the first. I think overall the first game's music is the best. Not even just the first trilogy, but like the first game in the first trilogy. But all of them have killer soundtracks. Prepared for. One never knows when a miracle will be called for. Like this music, I miss these so much. Like this game, the music has been kind of very hit and miss for me overall. But this one, which is like the first game's music because we're back into Phoenix's time. So good. One never knows when a miracle will be called for. A magician always has 7 doves in his pocket, and a white rabbit up each sleeves. What are we talking about? Oh, bullet was already loaded. Magician is always prepared. Okay. Harry, we're dealing with professionals here.
Is this bullet that was loaded but is still really so important?
Or add it to the testimony just so I can press it to see the dialogue. Without a loaded bullet, we wouldn't have the murder. It's very important, Your Honor.
Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony.
What can I do but obey? The pistol was already loaded. I merely had to pull the trigger. If the pistol was already loaded, something doesn't make sense. Why weren't the victim's fingerprints on it? You should know that we of the True Gamari are capable of many things. One of these being the levitation of iron balls without touching them. Okay, now you're going too off the deep end, my guy. There's no magic involved in here. The shooter was just methodical is all. He simply wiped everything of fingerprints. Can't really do much with fingerprints that weren't there. Maybe I should ask about something else. The location of the pistol. Where exactly was the pistol when you entered the room? At up a small bedside table it was, as if to say, here I am, take me into your hand, pull my trigger, shoot him. The victim clearly wanted to be shot.
But why?
Perhaps he wanted to go out with a bang. Yet we will never hear the truth from his lips, so all we can do is guess.
Is the location of the pistol all that important?
Sure. Without a murder weapon, there would be no murder. It's very important, Your Honor.
Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony.
What can I do but obey? I took up the pistol from the small table and shot the clown. Why did you do that? I would think calling the police would come first. Then you know nothing of the relationship between the master and his disciple. If your master says die, you die. Do you understand? So you're going to die. Certainly not. It was but an example. In any case, I wanted to fulfill my obligation. A final courtesy to a great mentor, perhaps. Or perhaps not. Perhaps I'm totally confused. Maybe I should ask about something else. The number of pistols. How many pistols were there when you entered the room? By which you mean what precisely? 2 pistols were used in the Dyke and Valen Quaitros shoot 'em, correct? One for each of you. You are well informed, yet only one of my old friends sat in the hospital room that night. What did Zach tell me back in the lobby? I don't need the flashback, I'm fine.
I see no problem with that statement. Only one pistol is visible in the photograph of the crime scene after all.
So you picked up that pistol and fired it? Indeed, I did. Alakazam, Alakazing, Alakaboom. I hate him.
Is the number of pistols really so important?
Actually, yes and no. Because Zach told us that after he shot the clown, he kept the pistol with him, right? And Valent came in the room after that, so there will still be only one pistol, right? I mean, it is important, I just don't know if I have the right train of thought here. The number of pistols is quite important, Your Honor.
Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony.
What can I do but obey? Only one pistol was in the hospital room that night. With it, I shot the clown. So you took the only pistol there and fired it? That's correct. And that pistol was this one, which was left at the crime scene. Sure, I see you too are a magician of sorts. And you're an idiot of sorts. Goddamn Phoenix, okay. Do you have any idea what you just said? I see the fire in your eyes as you glare at the witness. So how about heating up this trial a bit? These slow ballads bore me. I've got a hunch, but maybe that's all it is. Maybe I should ask about something else. No need. I'll keep that one for now. On second thought, let's run with this testimony for a while longer. Then I informed the doctor and the police. So you informed the police. What did you do then? What do you suppose I did? Used my magic to levitate my mentor's corpse, perhaps? I don't know, that's why I'm asking. Now please answer the question and skip the sarcasm. After I made my report, I called the doctor, and we returned to the room. While we waited for the police to arrive, we discussed stomach medicine. We've confirmed this with the doctor. It all checks out. Praise Mr. Valent's knowledge of stomach medicine, in fact. It is an honor I do not deserve, but I accept. Both of Magnify's students received the same letter. Both admit to having gone to the hospital that night. 2 bullets were fired, and one of them killed Magnify. Time to find the cracks in this testimony. Okay, so what can we do here? Do I present one of the letters here?
Objection!
Nope. Damn. Okay, where are we going here then? Um... Was it one of the others here then? Because I can't prove... I don't think I can prove they're rich pistols right now. Okay, can I do something with this statement then? I don't think so. I mean, Baron marks match bullet found in victim, not in clown. That gotta be it, right?
Objection!
No? Okay. What are we trying to find then?
Objection!
Nah. Damn it. I mean, I don't think it's the other statement, the bullet one. I don't think so. The bullet. Okay, yeah. The cell was already loaded and merely had to pull the trigger. I don't feel like I can do anything with either of these three statements right now. What are we doing? Weird. I legit cannot tell what I'm supposed to find.
Hold it!
I feel like it has to do with the pistol, so I just can't figure out what exactly. Okay. Only one pistol was in the hospital room that night. With it, I shot the clown. Do I present the photo?
Objection!
I have no idea what I'm looking for. Um... There's nothing that indicates... Oh, it seems Fate's clock will make me wait a little longer. Oh, he wrote this after Zach but before Valent. Wait, okay. Is that something you can use right now, though?
Objection!
Yeah, no, okay. This is definitely gonna come into play at some point. I just don't know when or how. Yeah. Okay, let's go back, retry.
Objection!
And, I don't know what I'm supposed to present here, specifically.
Hold it!
I think I'm gonna have to look it up, because, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? There's just too many options, and I don't want to have to go through all of them one by one at this point. Let's see. Try a ladder. Trying not to spoil myself. Okay, so it is the number of pistol, yeah. Present the stage pistol. Wait, what? Didn't I already do that? Only one pistol was in the hospital room that night. With it I shot the clown. No, I don't think I did, because, like, why would I do that? Why would I present the pistol to this? No, I did present that. What?
Objection!
Oh, apparently not. Okay. Must have been to another of the two statements, but, like, where are we going with this then? According to the defendant's diagrammer, when he entered the room, there were two pistols. That's how we get there? Okay. That's a bit weird and unintuitive, but alright. There were two pistols on the table. Two? One of those pistols he used to shoot the clown in the forehead. Then he left with it in his pocket. Of course, this is what he will say. Unlike the hapless clown, we must assume our defendant has some brains in his head. Well, what about what Mr. Valent has told us? You see, there's something about his testimony that doesn't make sense. What might that be? I told you, I took the pistol that was there and shot the clown. That's your story, at least. But the rifling marks tell a very different story, Mr. Valent. Recall what Prosecutor Gavin told us. We compared the bullet taken from the victim's skull with the bullet fired from his gun. The rifling marks on the bullets were a perfect match. Mr. Valent, if you fired this pistol, then you shot the victim in the forehead.
Order, order, order! Well, this is all rather sudden.
Objection!
What have I done?
Prosecutor Gavin?
I owe the court an apology. Sorry. But sorry for what?
Objection! Objection! Hold it!
You see, I was unaware that two of these unique pistols were crafted. The analysis of the rifling marks only proved the type of gun that fired them.
Objection!
But that's not what you told us before. You said you'd verify the murder weapon. Which is why I'm apologizing to you now. Quite sincerely, I might add. Would you hold me accountable for a mistake made in my youth? That was just this morning. I'm still young. And I might add, it wasn't really my fault. If the defendant had only admitted he took one pistol from the scene of the crime, we would not be having this pleasant discussion now.
Valent Grammary? Yes, Your Honor. You were presented to this court as a decisive witness, but you've proven to be more divisive than decisive.
Also, how can you be a decisive witness if you did not witness the actual crime? How does that work? Because
Objection!
if we listen to him, he just noticed the aftermath of the crime. You'll see, in time. The testimony so far has merely been a review of the facts. The proof comes next.
Care to elaborate, Prosecutor Gavin?
When Mr. Valent entered the hospital room, the victim had already been shot. As his next testimony will prove, alright, the real fight is about to begin. Bring it.
Very well. The witness will now testify to the court. Help us determine who shot what.
Okay, who shot what? I arrived in the hospital room at the appointed time, which is to say 11:20 p.m. After discovering the body, I fulfilled my obligation, then called in the doctor. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. He was quite clear about the time of death, 11:10 p.m. And the one in the room at that time was my partner, not me. Wait, 11? No, it's between 11 and 11:30.
Those times are rather close, you have to admit. You're talking about an alibi established over a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
To use a 10-minute discrepancy as the basis of your alibi.
It's easy to explain in this situation, her judge. For example, just me nodding, yeah. Take our debut hit single, 13 Years Hard Time for Love. You just to the song, press the play button, and it will play for 2 minutes 15 seconds. Do it 100 times, the result is the same. Their debut single was only 2 minutes and 15 seconds long. What a ripoff. Oh, Phoenix, you are not ready for the 2020s. God damn. I feel like songs are rarely over 3 minutes now these days. Magic is a world of utmost precision. At least like popular songs, I mean. Hocus Pocus requires admirable focus. Songs are short, yeah, they really did. Uh, at least the popular one. They're like I listen to a lot of like less popular stuff, which is fine. But like if we're talking about popular stuff that tops the chart and everything, they got short. Fuck. In the time of death determined by the doctor there is an incontrovertible truth.
Very well. The prosecution warns us that we're dealing with rather precise times, and we can expect the cross-examination to require the same level of precision.
I will hope the defense refrain from its customarily broad sweeping accusations, lest we blur the focus this case so clearly demands.
Point taken. Baseless remarks will result in a penalty. Carry on, Mr. Wright.
Carry on. Right. Carry on my wayward son. Sorry, I had to. I'm rewatching Supernatural, so I had to. I arrived in the hospital room at the appointed time, which is to say 11:20 p.m.
Hold it!
11:20 p.m. Can you prove that's when you arrived? Such a feat may be even beyond even the great Valen. For there was no one in that room but Magnify, and he was departed after fashion. Carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. I love that song so much, god damn, so much nostalgia attached to it. I don't know Queen songs as much, honestly. Like, I've never been that much into Queen, I have to say. Another one's bite the dust. Apart from Bohemian Rhapsody, which I know a little bit more, but otherwise, listen to them. I've never been able to get into them. Like they have a good sound, and like if like they come on the radio or whatever, it's fine. I jam to it, but like it's not something that I'm gonna go listen on my own. Honestly, Bohemian is so good. It took me a long time, like it took me years to understand the hype behind that song. It took me years. For a long time I did not understand. But yeah, these days I feel like ever since I got into metal a few years ago, I feel like whenever I listen to rock now, just basic rock, I feel like I need more. Like I feel like rock is just not doing it for me anymore, because like I need more. I need screams, I need more drums, I need more bass, I need more guitar, I need more everything. I need gent every time I listen to rock. Watching JoJo got me into so much. I've heard so much about JoJo. I need to actually delve into manga and anime. I always get like a few weeks here and there every year that I get into it, and then I just get distracted with other stuff, and I never prioritize it. I need to. There's so much stuff that I want to watch and read. I told you like years ago, watch it. Yeah. Well, eventually. There's even then there's so much stuff that I want to read and watch before, so I think I don't know. Where are we now? For there was no one in that room but Magnify, and he was departed after fashion. Eventually, girl. One day. I have here defendant Zygrammari's sworn deposition. I snuck into his room at night at the appointed time. The next part comes on in a few weeks. Is it not over yet? I thought it was over. What? Is it not over? God damn. I truly thought it was done. Huh. Interesting. We're up to 7 out of 9. I see. Okay. The author doesn't look at over 40. What age are they? Give me a second, I'm just doing something really quick here. Okay. 60s? I see. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. It was 10 minutes before I left the room. Voice. It was 10 minutes before I left the room, and the victim was still alive.
The victim and the time indicated by this letter to Zach was 11:05 p.m.
Exactly. Which means the witness could not have entered that room before 11:15. 65, damn. There's also... For a long time, I like in my head, I mixed up JoJo and what is the other one that I kept mistaking it for? It was fuck. Shit. Wait, do I still am I still logged in my? I know I have it in my list. Can I log in quickly? Do I know my password? Is it already... Okay, we're good. Anime list. No, it's I'll find it in a second here. Oh, is it in my manga list? Oh no, wait, plan to watch. Wait. Huh. Manga list then? Plan to read. Oh, Gintama. For a long time, I thought both of those were the same one. Before I realized. Because his partner was still in the middle of his crime.
I see someone did their arithmetic homework.
You see, the defendant himself has corroborated the witness's testimony. Does that all make sense? Okay, I need to recheck because I got distracted way too much. You probably have a ton of references, they reference so much. Yeah, I think that's part of why I've mistaken them so much. Hold it, 11:20. Blah blah blah. Minutes before I left the room and the victim was still alive. Wait. Time indicated by this letter to Zach was 11:05. Wait. I have here defendant Zach Ramage. Oh, Zach. Sworn deposition. Okay. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. It was 10 minutes before I left the room and the victim was still alive. The time indicated by this letter to Zach was 11:05 exactly, which means the witness could have not entered that room before 11:15 because his partner was still in the middle of his crime. You see, the defendant himself has corroborated the witness's testimony. I guess it makes sense, yeah. I don't think we have a contradiction here. They don't care about copyright. I don't see any problem with that testimony.
If you say so. Let's continue, shall we?
Sometimes the most magical thing of all is the truth. After discovering the body, I fulfilled my obligation, then called in the doctor. You walk in on a murder and the first thing you do is shoot the clown? The disciple does what the disciple must. My mentor's request without reason had caused me a surfeit of sorrow. For what would I valiant be now without him? May the soul of Magnify the Great find greater peace above. This I muttered to myself as I pulled that lonely trigger. In any case, I believe this is nothing more than what we have already learned. I'm still waiting for one of those right moments, Her Attorney.
I remind you that base is right, blah blah blah, proceed with that in mind.
Yes, Your Honor. What a pain this is turning out to be. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. Did the doctor say anything concerning the cause of death? Why, yes. I believe he screamed, "My God, he's been shot in the head." Putting pressure. I don't know what's happening here. This case is interesting but weird.
It doesn't take a doctor to notice that. I probably will have screamed the same thing.
And I will have penned the requiem that arose in my soul at that horrid sight. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned investigation? In any case, I believe this is nothing more than... okay. Yeah. It was quite clear about the time of death, 11:10 p.m. Yeah, except that, no, we have a range of 30 minutes. Okay, I'll wait to press this one until I've pressed that one, because I feel like this one is gonna move the trial along. I want to see what he says with this one. And the one in the room at that time was my partner, not me. You entered that hospital room at 11:20 p.m. The time given by the defendant, Zy Grammar, was 11:05 p.m. You didn't run into him at the hospital that night? This is why I never perform with amateurs, you see. Huh? Picture, if you will, the nighttime hospital. Outside, only the pale light of the moon. If you dressed as we were to meet in such circumstances, I dare say that would ruin the mood completely. The mood isn't in question here. I believe the witness is saying they didn't meet, yeah? For what is magic if not the study of beauty? Yeah. I like questioning everything, just to have like as much dialogue as possible, because the writing in these games is so good. Us meeting was not only out of the question, it was an impossibility. For what is magic if not the study of how to make absolutely no sense at all? That said, was there a contradiction there? I don't think so. I don't see any problem. Yeah. Oops. Pressing with immediately better for this time of death, yeah. Okay. I don't think I'm stepping out on the limb to say I have some doubt about this. How could the doctor be so precise with the time?
We do usually only get an estimated time of death, true. I'm not sure I've heard of a verified time of death.
Magic revels in making the complex appear simple, but reality is the opposite. What appears complex in this case is a simple matter of subtraction.
I see another person has done their arithmetic homework.
Another? What do you mean, Judge? What do you mean, Judge? Judge, are you still in school? Judge, I don't like the implication of that statement. The point here is the IV victim the IV the victim was taking. It's quite visible in the photograph at this scene. Yeah. Recall what we heard earlier about the victim, Magnify Grammary's schedule. Every night at 11, Magnify took an IV trip for 30 minutes.
I can see the IV bag right there, yes.
Now, look a little closer. Follow the tube down from the bag to the end.
Ah, the needle's been removed.
Obviously, if it fell out when he was shot. I have some... I don't think that's how that works. I don't think that's how it works. I have my doubts on that. The IV syringe thingy, the one that's stuck to the mattress here. I don't think it will just fall out like that. I've never had an IV. I can tell like how solidly it's in there, but I feel like it doesn't just like falls out just like that. Yeah,
that would seem to be the case.
When the needle comes out, the IV no longer drifts. Ah, you could just measure the remaining IV liquid. Precisely. The IV liquid functions for our purposes as an hourglass of sorts. This is how the doctor determined the time of death. From the amount remaining in the bag, it was determined that the IV had stopped 10 minutes after administration began. But there can be so many reasons for that. It doesn't have to be shot to remove the needle. If you got shot and fell back a bit, had movement that wouldn't affect the arm, yeah. Unless he was sitting all the way up, maybe. Yeah, I don't... I have my doubts. Unless, and this is a big fucking reach, he took the IV out himself to put his insulin. Like he was about to put his insulin in there when he was shot or something, but that's a big reach. I don't think he wouldn't need to take the IV out for that. I feel like, I don't know. Approximately 10 minutes had passed since the IV began. And so it was, when I, Valant, entered that room. 10 minutes had passed since that horrible crime was committed. And this is proof.
What, Mr. Wright?
Did that seem important? It does seem very important. Well, seeing how it is the biggest clue we have to the time of death, I'd say it's very important.
Agreed. It would be hard to imagine a more precise way of to determine time. Behold the power of arithmetic.
Okay, Judge.
Very well. The witness will add this detail to his testimony.
Sometimes the most magical thing of all is the truth. Okay, we're doing this again. The water of life springs not eternal. The remaining IV liquid proves my innocence. Do you notice the IV yourself by any chance? When first I entered that room, the stench of gunpowder assailed me. Next, the mark of death upon my mentor's forehead. And then his left arm did I spy arose drooping and wilted. It torn the discarded IV needle. Right from the vein by the force of the shot, luckily for you. If that IV had not been there, why, you might be a suspect. Indubitably so. I might say it's thanks to my lucky color. Your lucky color? Indeed, even today I wear it proudly upon my suspect self. For it always without fail brings me luck. Why, when Zack and Valant won their first Magician Grand Prix, yes, the very one held by the Association of International Magicians, I was adorned in this attire then too, and our trophy, a bust. Ah, what a day that was. This is one trip down memory lane no one needs. My lucky color, yes indeed, and that IV too. I say, I think it was hued especially for me, Valiant.
That does seem to be the case indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, any thoughts on this testimony?
Valiant sure looks happy with himself. Okay, how about this lucky color testimony? I mean, I don't know what color you're talking about. Cause he's in black and like kind of crimson red. And not black, yellow and crimson red. And like the IV liquid is green, the bag is blue. I don't know what he's talking about here. There's a contradiction, I think. It certainly sounds like your lucky colors brought you plenty of luck, but not this time. Mr. Valiant, your lucky colors betrayed you. I'm afraid you've lost me. Your Honor, the witness's testimony just now clearly contradicts the evidence.
What? Please recall my warning at the beginning of this cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Baseless accusations will be duly penalized. I do hope this latest accusation is well-based.
Don't worry, I've got all your bases right here.
Very well, let's hear the defense's claim. Where is your evidence that contradicts what Mr. Valiant has told us?
I mean... this would be the photo, right?
Take that!
The crime scene tells all, Your Honor.
The photo of the crime scene?
All this talk of color has me yearning for black and white. Clear-cut simplicity. Tell us, her right, just where is the contradiction in this photo? My pleasure, and I assure you, it's quite simple. But I can't promise anything in black and white.
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What in this photo contradicts the witness's testimony?
I mean, this, maybe?
Take that!
Valiant Grammary, let's get one thing straight about your lucky color. It's yellow, yes? Kind of takes the mystery out of it, but yes.
Something wrong with yellow, Mr. Wright?
Yes, there is. Decisively wrong, in fact. Take another look at the photo of the crime scene.
What's this?
Did he change the bag? Was it yellow when he came in and he changed the bag to frame Zach? And that's why he misremembered? Confusion, doubt. Tell us, what do your elderly eyes spies?
Either that or he's colorblind, one of the two. Even my elderly eyes can see a problem here, Mr. Valiant. Look at that IV bag.
I cannot colorblind. What is this? What foul magic? It will be hard to call the IV liquid yellow, and I'm afraid no magic was involved in the taking of this photograph. No! Oh my god, this is an amazing sprite.
Order, order, order! What does this mean?
Objection!
This is some kind of mistake.
Yes, Prosecutor Gavin. Your witness's mistake.
The greener they are, the harder they fall. I suppose there is no substitute for experience. Valiant Grammary, as you reminded us several times, your lucky color is yellow, but the IV is clearly not. Well, this contradiction can mean only one thing.
Objection!
I think y'all won't almost had me. I see your true colors now, Ace Attorney Phoenix, right?
Something you'd like to tell us, Prosecutor Gavin? As far as this court can tell, that witness's testimony does contradict the evidence.
Yes, a contradiction. One that I shall be pleased to hand right back to Mr. Wright.
How do you mean?
How? Because the witness has made no mistake. I agree, at a glance the ivy liquid does appear a sort of greenish yellow.
No yellow, just greenish. There is no yellow in there. I refute.
But I assure you, the liquid itself is quite yellow.
Yellow liquid? How can you say that? As far as I can tell from this photo, it's green.
Yes, but what color is the ivy bag itself?
The bag? You mean the plastic bag on the hook? It looks like I want to say like blue. Are we really going in that direction? Oh my lord. Okay.
That's just pure green bucko. Precisely. Figured it out yet. Put a yellow liquid in a blue bag and you get green. This, incidentally, is the liquid's true color.
I see. Your explanation does have the ring of truth to it.
So you're telling me that
Objection!
on the spot, Mr. Grammary here is gonna fucking do color science? Oh my god, okay. As I thought, there's no substitute for experience, Prosecutor Gavin. What? You may tell a good tale, but you've just proven something rather grave. For you, that is. Wait, can you the origin color? Grave?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to just like see the fucking liquid in the blue bag and come to the conclusion that it's yellow because yellow is his lucky color or whatever. So he's always gonna be on the lookout for yellow stuff. I wouldn't put it past him, honestly.
The liquid in the ivy is yellow, yes. But how did this witness know that?
Oh, okay, no, wait, we're getting down to it.
It's quite unnatural when you think about it. You did think about it, didn't you? Your Honor, the defense requests an explanation from the witness. At the scene of the crime, the ivy liquid appears to be green. So let me ask, how did the witness know the ivy liquid was actually yellow? Yes, my god! I love the bunnies, god, they're so great. Oh, I miss this track so much. This shit is so good. Order. Honestly, no game since the first one has been able to replicate this feeling with this music. They've tried, and some of them have gotten close, but this track is just so fucking amazing.
Mr. Wright, you will explain this at once. The witness clearly knew the color of the ivy liquid, but I'm sure it means something, but what?
I can think of only one possibility, Your Honor. The witness, Valen Grammary, has testified that the ivy liquid was yellow because it looked yellow, he'd seen it before, he knew the ivy liquid's color. What are we going with here? I mean, if the ivy liquid was for the cancer, he could have just seen it before, possibly. I can even draw him to immersed. That's good. Uh, it must... He knew the IV liquid's color? From the facts before us, the answer is clear. The witness knew that the IV liquid was yellow. Why? Because he'd seen it before. Okay, so both answers will have worked. Alright. But not inside the blue bag we see in the photo. He saw the liquid by itself in a clear colorless bag. I suppose you would have had to, but I'm still not clear as to what this all means. Ask yourself, why would he know if he didn't work at the hospital? That's where you'll find your meaning, Your Honor.
Objection!
I'm afraid I find nothing. So what if he knew the IV liquid's color? Leave the getting excited over absolutely nothing to our teeny bopper fans, yeah?
Objection!
The IV liquid is the only evidence proving the time of death. A 30-minute hourglass with 20 minutes worth of sand remaining. Your claim, Prosecutor Gavin?
I remember it well.
However, there's a critical difference between an hourglass and an IV bag.
Wait, I know. An hourglass uses sand, but an IV bag uses liquid. I'm right, right?
As much as it pains me to say this, Your Honor, no. Unlike the sands through an hourglass, IV liquid enters the patient's body, at which point, like magic, it disappears. However, what if the amount of IV liquid had increased? Yeah, that's where I was going. He did not replace the bag, he just refilled it. Or, no wait, he must have replaced the bag because the bag was blue after. Never mind. You couldn't tell, could you? After all, there's no way of knowing how much went in.
Objection!
Let me get this straight. Her right. You're saying the witness watered down the victim's IV bag. Not with water, but with IV liquid. That's how you knew the IV liquid was yellow. No, wait, I said wait. How might an amateur such as myself essay to perform such a task?
Objection!
I'm an amateur too, but I can pour water into a cup.
Objection!
I'm afraid there's quite a big difference between a cup and an IV bag. Quite. Can you prove our witness is capable of such a feat?
He has a point, amateurs.
Did he just called us amateurs? Okay. That's so good.
I at least will have some...
This last case just turns the whole game around, because like the whole game so far has been kind of very meh. The cases have just been all over the place and not really that interesting. But this last case is so fucking good so far.
I at least will have some difficulty pouring IV liquid into that bag.
You don't need to be an expert to see the look on the witness's face. He added liquid to that IV to throw out the time of death. Oh wait, no, he did not change the bag. He took liquid from a clear bag, and that's why he knew it was yellow. Okay. I get it now. I get where we're going. I tire of these fairy tales lacking evidence.
Well, Mr. Wright, any solid evidence to bring us back down to earth?
Balindramari, I'm afraid your magic won't serve you well in a life of crime. Might I ask what you're strongly suggesting? Magic relies on props, and props become evidence. Our witness was certainly able to increase the amount of IV liquid in the bag. All he had to do was work a little magic, and the prop was... the syringe? Has to be.
Take that!
The victim's syringe?
It's a perfect prop for the magically increasing IV trick, and easy enough for an amateur to use.
Objection!
What kind of evidence is that? The syringe was clean, not a trace of liquid in it.
Objection!
And don't you find that odd, Prosecutor Gavin? Oh, it will be odd. Because he cleaned it. He cleaned it after using it, and that's why it's oh, his cleanliness will be his downfall, yeah. What? The victim had the syringe to administer his insulin shots. There should have been traces of insulin left inside. Well, Valiant Gramarine, as you pointed out yourself, the IV liquid makes the perfect cloth. One that you could manipulate at will. Alakasol! My brain is exploding, it's so good. This is what's been missing from this whole game, man. This is so good.
I do believe, well, with this being his first, that the burden of this trial has been a bit too much to bear for Prosecutor Gavin. I'm afraid that, while there is a doubt as to the amount of IV liquid in that bag, the time of death cannot be proven. And that brings our trial to a close for today.
Well, maybe I can squeeze an extra day out of this. I can do a little much-needed investigation work.
I see there are no objections.
So did that Gavin, you fucking asshole. What now? Truly, there is no substitute for experience. Nothing blinds one to the truth so effectively. A word to the wise. Underestimate the young, and they'll sweep your feet out from under you. In a way you never, ever expected. You see, I know exactly what you're thinking. What's he talking about? You say the witness used the syringe to manipulate the level of the IV liquid. But there is no proof. There's no proof he didn't do it either. Yes, quite true. Huh? He's admitting it? Nor was this witness quite as decisive as I'd hoped. He's tough. He's a pain in the ass. This, I admit. After all, why linger in the past when the future holds so much?
You have something in mind, Prosecutor Gavin?
Proof, Fair Judge. I have another way to prove my case. With evidence, no less.
What's this?
Here we go. This is the forged evidence we've seen. This is the victim magnified Grammary's diary. Diary? After going into the hospital, Magnify began writing his memoirs, it seems. The story of his birth, his starting debut, and of meeting his disciples. It seems he intended for the last chapter to end quite appropriately, with his death. Wait, that book doesn't say what the reason was, does it? The reason why his disciples couldn't refuse his last request? Sadly, it does not. What's important here is on the last page. Apparently, the victim wrote in his journal that night, even after the IV had begun at 11 PM. Let's read it, shall we? Fucking prosecutor is bringing evidence at the fucking last second.
This does appear to have been written just before his death.
No, tonight's IV is in, maybe the last. I leave the rest to them. The first should come soon. This journal may end here, or it may go on. But not long. That depends on his hand. All that is left to mine is to... down this pen? Yeah, to lay down this pen. Okay.
The court accepts this into evidence.
Magnifies diary. Memoir of sorts written up to just before he died. Read the very last part with particular care. This journal may end here, or it may go on, but not long. That depends on his hand. Of course, by his, he refers to our defendant, the Grammary.
That would make sense, yes.
I mean, it could also... Oops. No, this is clearly talking about Zakia, because he said about the first. Can I not reread it? Wait. There we go. This is the last page, the diary ends here. Oh, what's this? Looks like a page was ripped out. Yeah, I mean, I figured that out. Well now, isn't that interesting? Okay. Okay, yeah, this is clearly talking about Zack though.
That would make sense, yes. He was our first scheduled visitor after all.
But look at what he said before that. This journal may end here or it may go on. It may go on. Magnified Grammar intended to write again. That is, if Zack Grammar didn't pull the trigger. I see the defense understands the meaning of this. The victim's diary does not go on, it ends. Actually, yeah, I wouldn't say it ends. So I think, unfortunately, this is the fourth piece. But we'll see where this brings us. Because Magnify's life was brought to an end by the defendant, Zack Grammar.
Order! 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 Prosecutor Gavin, are you certain that Magnified Grammar wrote this?
There is no mistaking his handwriting.
Well, this does seem to be significant. According to this, Magnified did intend to continue his diary. Yet, if his diary ended here, which it plainly it did,
then the one who pulled the trigger was the first visitor, Zack Grammar. Well how do you like me now, her right? Still too green for your tastes, huh? He's right about the diary being pretty clear. Still, I find it hard to believe that he'd overlook such an obvious problem with this precious evidence.
Well, Mr. Wright, the witness's testimony we heard was lacking. But put together with this evidence, it seems quite sufficient for a case.
If the diary is accepted like this, the trial's over. Maybe it's time for me to show them something. I'm left with no choice but to show my own evidence.
What? You have some evidence that overturns this diary?
It's not too late to rethink this and avoid more embarrassment.
Very well. Please show us your evidence, Mr. Wright.
Incidentally, don't even think of showing us this diary I've just shown to the court. Now that we've come this far, I hope you have something a little more decisive. Show us evidence that proves the victim to continue writing his diary. Alright, I'd be happy to. The decisive evidence proving that the diary didn't end with this page is... Oops. First, take a close look at this diary. Note that the page has been clearly ripped out.
What's this? I hadn't noticed that at all.
That's why we're still here talking about this. As it just so happens, I have here what I believe to be the missing page. Yeah, I don't believe it. Looking at this page, it's hard to imagine that the first visitor that night shot Magnified Grammar. That's the defense's position.
Wait, let me see that. What in Sam Hill?
What? What do you... I've heard that expression so often. I've never understood where it came from. What the fuck is Sam Hill? Sam Hill is an American English slang phrase, euphemism, or minstrel for the devil or hell. Oh, Sam Hine. Okay, that makes sense. That's what it is, right? Just trying to find a confirmation. Is it? I can't tell. Oops. Maybe not, actually. Huh. I don't know.
What in Sam Hill? Why, this is the continuation of the victim's diary.
Nobody looking very happy. Note the torn edge of the page. It's a perfect match with the torn remains of the last page in Magnify's diary. Quite remarkable. Would you care to explain what all this means, her attorney? The diary continued after his first visitor came, which means that the victim was still alive after Zach Grammary left, leaving no one to take his life but the second visitor. Valen Grammary. No. No.
Writing 2 matches that on the other pages. This is, without a doubt, the genuine article. Order, order, order!
But wait, that's impossible. That old man couldn't have written that.
Objection!
Finally. You just couldn't resist, could you, her right? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Judge.
Yes, Prosecutor Gavin?
Might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness.
But Prosecutor Gavin, this evidence overturns the current witnesses.
I ask only to put it on hold. Please, my new witness has a very, very important piece of testimony to give. 5 minutes, no more. I promise, Your Honor.
Well, if you put it that way, Mr. Wright, what's your take on this?
Well, Your Honor, judging from his enthusiasm, we'll have to hear this new testimony sooner or later anyway. So it might as well be sooner. Who are we bringing in now?
Then, this is highly irregular. We will put on the current cross-examination on hold. The witness may step down. Now, Prosecutor Gavin, another one. Please bring us... DJ got it. Okay, sorry. Please bring this surprise witness to the courtroom.
I had a bad feeling just then. That ripped out page was too obvious. He must have known. And I should have known it was about sign all around. Oh shit, we're bringing him in.
Holding trial with no audience is a first, even for me, Prosecutor Gavin.
I beg the court's understanding. But I had to make a judiciary deal with the witness to secure his testimony. A judiciary deal? The details of his testimony may have some legal ramifications, shall we say. I thought it best to contain the information to this room.
Very well. And you are the witness, I gather.
Okay, so now we're tying this in to the actual case.
Yes, sir.
State your name and occupation for the record.
My name's Drew Misham. I'm a painter. A painter? And you are somehow related to this case?
No, well, not per se. I have one simple question for this witness. Mr. Misham, was it? Do you know what this is? I'm sorry to say this to you, Mr. Misham, but you will die in about 7 years. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I know it well. How's that possible? Have you seen this diary page somewhere before? Oh, yeah, I mean, I made it. You... what? You made it? Yes. You might call it one of my works. Prosecutor's office received a tip-off yesterday. Illegal evidence has been prepared for the trial of Zach Grammary.
Illegal evidence?
I initiated an investigation and found this witness. A painter to the world at large, Drew Misham has another side, you might say. He is skilled in making perfect reproductions of certain things. Forgeries, in other words. Forgeries?
Well, so we are to understand that this page here is
A fake. Prepared by a certain defense attorney. Oh, you motherfucker. Oh, you fucking asshole. Hold it. I didn't prepare this evidence.
Objection!
The attorney speaks. Something about this page, I presume. But what is he saying? It makes no sense. After all, it was you who presented this evidence to us, Phoenix, right? Oh, you fucking bitch.
witness. Mr. Misham, was it? Who requested this forgery? Who was your client?
That I don't know. What? Most of my clients prefer to remain anonymous, even to me. I make the items they want and receive my payment. That's the extent of my contact with them.
Objection!
But there's no proof this is a fake. It's a fake. Huh? To avoid just this sort of problem, I always put a special mark on my works. I can say without a doubt, this is mine. This is where we lose a trial and get disbarred and dishonored.
Mr. Wright, you have just presented illegal evidence to this court. My court.
It was careless of me. That's all I can say.
Oh, I'll buy. Here.
What's this?
And you know, I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair. They said it was really important.
It was all a trap. A fatal trap.
Mr. Wright,
Yes.
do you have an explanation for yourself?
If I did, will the court hear it?
Probably not. Forging evidence is a serious crime, and presenting it in court a serious mistake. A fatal mistake for an attorney.
For what? Fatal too, perhaps, for your client, I fear. Tell me, what kind of defendant relies on forged evidence? The answer is quite clear. A guilty one.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait. I understand that presenting forged evidence in court is a serious crime, but you cannot hold my client responsible for actions I undertook as an individual. Yeah, we should just ask for a retrial at this point.
I am sorry, Mr. Wright.
Your Honor? Another close call, I dare say. If the prosecutor's office hadn't received that hot hit, everything will have gone the way you wanted to, yeah. I didn't give you a chance. Too bad you decided not to think before embarrassing yourself.
I see no need for further discussion on this matter. Special witness dismissed.
Oh, fuck. This is bad. Mr. Attorney. Yes? Will I ask your name? Phoenix Wright. Mr. Wright, I have seen and studied many people, but none like you. I'll remember you, Mr. Wright. And that's why he started painting Apollo's trials?
Though I deeply regret having to declare a verdict in this way, this trial is over.
That is so unfair. Like, this justice system was fucked enough before this, but that is so unfair. This should be asking for a retrial, not a fucking verdict at this point. Just start over, do another trial, different prosecutor, different defense. God damn.
You have the right to find a new attorney and make an appeal.
Okay, he can appeal, but...
However, this court must...
Ah, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Zack.
There is one thing I wish to make clear. Today, in this courtroom, You cannot declare me guilty. It is impossible.
I'm afraid the defendant is quite mistaken. I most certainly have the authority to declare a verdict on you.
Except, tell me, how do you plan on announcing your verdict when your defendant does not exist?
What? Doesn't exist? What are you talking about?
I am talking about this.
Oh shit. He disappeared. He did magic.
Mr. Enigmar, the defendants escaped. Find him, quick.
British, close all exits from the building. On the double, he must not be able to escape.
He threw a flashbang and then just dipped. That day in that courtroom, a miracle occurred. The defendant, Shady Enigmar, aka Zach Gromary, did not just escape from court. He literally, unbelievably vanished. Right before the belief's eyes. No one ever saw him again, not since that day. This is the Gromary miracle, ha ha ha. Okay. No verdict was declared. After all, the defendant didn't exist. That's how it happened. The trial of magician Zach Gromary vanished, along with him, for all eternity. The mysteries that remained behind were all solved, however, but not until 7 years later. Okay, that was it for this. Hmm. I might cut it short here. Because, I think the next one is an investigation day. And it feels like it's gonna be a pretty long one, which I don't know if I have the energy for it. And I have some editing to do. Yeah, I think I'll cut this short for tonight. And next week we will finish this game once and for all. I think that's what's happening now. But this was fun. This one's a lot of fun already. I can't wait to see how this ends, how this whole game ends. Next week is gonna be very interesting. We'll be back next week, don't worry, don't worry. We will get the conclusion of all this. I feel like the next day of investigation is gonna take like another 2 hours. And I don't really want to end during it, like in the middle of it. But I also don't feel like going for another 2 hours right now, so kinda have to cut it short a little bit. But this was fun. So tomorrow we'll be back with Hades 2, which I did not play last week because I took a little day off. But yeah, tomorrow Surface runs. I'm still very excited to go back to that. So fucking excited. So that's gonna be it. In the meantime, thank you guys for watching, for lurking, for hanging out. As always, I really do appreciate it, even though my schedule is all over the place right now and my streams are much shorter these days. I'm slowly getting back to my to a good place though, so it should fix itself soon. But yeah, thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with Hades 2, like I said. Very excited about that. And yeah, take care, you too. You too, always. Sleep well if you're going to sleep soon. Have a good day, have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.